Hi, Heartroom friends. Welcome to the BFG by Roald Dahl. We're on page 61, and we're right in the first paragraph if you want to follow along at home. Or you might want to, if you don't have the book at home, just listen. Or you might want to get out some paper and draw what you think everything looks like. Here we go. Eating human beings is wrong and evil, the BFG said. It is guzzly and glumptious, shouted the blood bottler, and tonight I is galloping off to Chile to swabble a few human chili beans. Is you wishing to know why I is choosing chili? I is not wishing to know anything, the BFG said, very dignified. I is choosing chili, the blood bottler said, because I is fed up with the taste of Eskimos. It is important I has plenty of cold eats in this scuddling hot weather, and the next coldest thing to an Eskimo is a chili bean. Human beans from Chile is very chilly. Horrible, the BFG said. You ought to be ashamed. Other giants is all saying they is wanting to gallop off to England tonight to guzzle school children, the blood bottler said. I is very fond indeed of English school childers. They has a nice inky booky flavor. Perhaps I will change my mind and go to England with them. You is disgusting, the BFG said. And you is an insult to giant people, shouted the blood bottler. You is not fit to be a giant. You is a squinky little squiddler. You is a pibbling little pitsqueak. You is a cream puffnut. With that, the horrible, blood-bottling giant strode out of the cave. The BFG ran to the cave entrance and quickly rolled the stone back into place. Sophie, he whispered. Sophie, where is you? Sophie. Sophie emerged from under the hem of the black cloak. I'm here, she said. The BFG picked her up and held her tenderly in the palm of his hand. Oh, I is so happy to be finding you all in one lump, he said. I was in his mouth, Sophie said. You was what? Cried the BFG. Sophie told him what had happened. And there I was telling him to eat the filthsome snozzcumber, and you was all the time inside it, the BFG cried. Not much fun, Sophie said. Just look at you, you poor little chidler, cried the BFG. You was all covered in snozzcumber and giant spit. He is about cleaning her up. He set about cleaning her up as best as he could. I is hating those other giants more than ever now, he said. You know what I should like? What? Sophie asked. I should like to find a way of disappearing them, every single one. I'll be glad to help you, Sophie said. Let me see if I can think of a way of doing it. And there's Sophie in the BFG. She's covered in snozzcumber. Maybe you can draw your own picture of what she might look like covered in snozzcumber slime. Our next chapter is called Frobscottle and Whiz Poppers. When I'm reading, I want you to think about what a whiz popper might be. Maybe just by listening to the sentences, see if you can figure out what a whiz popper is. By now, Sophie was beginning to feel not only extremely hungry, but very thirsty as well. She had been home. Had she been home, she would have finished her breakfast long ago. Are you sure there was nothing else to eat around here except those disgusting, smelly snozzcumber, she asked. Not even a fizzwinkle, answered the big friendly giant. In that case, may I please have a little water, she said. Water, said the BFG, frowning mightily. What is that? We drink it, Sophie said. What do you think? What do you drink? Frobscottle, announced the BFG. All giants drink Frobscottle. Is it as nasty as your snozzcumber? Sophie asked. Nasty, cried the BFG. Never is it nasty. Frobscottle is sweet and jungly. He got up from his chair and went to a second huge cupboard. He opened it and took out a glass bottle that must have been 6 feet tall. The liquid inside it was pale green, and the bottle was half full. Here is Frobscottle, he cried, holding the bottle up proud and high, as though it contained some rare wine. Delumptious, fizzy Frobscottle, he shouted. He gave it a shake, and the green stuff began to fizz like mad. But look, it's fizzing the wrong way, Sophie cried. And indeed, it was. The bubbles, instead of traveling upwards and bursting on the surface, were shooting downwards and bursting at the bottom. A pale green frothy fizz was forming at the bottom of the bottle. What on earth is you meaning the wrong way? Asked the BFG. In our fizzy drink, Sophie said, the bubbles always go up and burst at the top. Oh, upwards is the wrong way, cried the BFG. You mustn't ever be having the bubbles going upwards. That, the most flush-bunking rubbish I is ever hearing. Why do you say that? Sophie asked. You is asking me why? Cried the BFG, waving the enormous bottle around as though he were conducting an orchestra. You is actually meaning to tell me you cannot see why it is a scrawny mistake to have the bubbles flying up instead of flying down? You said it was flesh bunking. Now you say it's grotty. Which is it, Sophie asked politely. So I'm going to pause there, because tomorrow we'll read all about the whiz poppers. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you tomorrow at the same time. And I'll see you Friday on Google Hangouts.